The Christmas list hits the frozen sidewalk between us. I watch his eyes scan the paper. See the exact moment he reads my daughter's wishes versus mine. His jaw clenches. Snow melts in his dark hair as he looks up, and something in his face makes my chest hurt. Not pity. Something worse. Recognition. Which one did you choose? His voice cracks. I don't know this man. Don't know why he's standing outside my community center at 6 p.m. looking at my $4 budget like it's breaking something inside him. But the truth comes out anyway. The electric bill. His hand closes around the paper. Knuckles white. And the coat. The boots for you. We'll manage. My daughter's inside wearing a jacket 2 sizes too small. We always do. He stands slowly. The way he's staring at me, like I just made him remember something he's spent years trying to forget. I don't know it yet, but this stranger followed me here. Watched me from across the city. And by Christmas morning, everything on that list will appear at my door. Every single thing. But the gift that destroys me? It's not what's on the paper. Welcome to our channel, where we bring you emotional stories that stay with you. If you're new here, hit subscribe and the notification bell so you never miss a story. And if you're returning, thank you. Your support means everything. Now, stay until the end, drop a comment with your thoughts, and let's begin. Jasmine Mitchell's day started at 5:47 a.m. when the heat died again. By 6:15, she duct-taped the living room window against December wind. By 7:30, she'd gotten her 9-year-old daughter Zara dressed in 3 layers because the apartment wouldn't warm up until she got home to mess with the ancient thermostat again. By 8:45, she dropped Zara at school, promising hot chocolate later, knowing they couldn't afford it but unable to watch her baby's breath fog in the cold without offering something. By 4 p.m., she was at Sweet Auburn Community Center in Atlanta's Old Fourth Ward, setting up for the Christmas toy drive that was supposed to save the neighborhood's holiday season but was currently short on donations, volunteers, and miracles. The Adopt-A-Family board mocked her from the wall. 43 wish lists from families who couldn't afford Christmas. She'd printed them on red and green paper, trying to make poverty look festive. Each list had a number instead of a name: anonymous, dignified, private. List number 27 was hers. She hadn't meant to include it. Had written it during lunch as some kind of therapeutic exercise her sister kept pushing. Write down what you need, Jazz. Just acknowledge it. So she had. Then she'd looked at the words: warm winter coat for Zara, size 10. New work boots for Mama, size 8. 1 month electricity paid, and felt sick. Folded it away. But somehow it had gotten mixed into the donation pile this morning, and now it hung on the wall with all the others. Her private shame on public display. $4.63 in her checking account until Friday's paycheck. That was Christmas budget. That was grocery budget. That was, please God don't let anything break, budget. She'd chosen the electric bill. Had to. You could wear a thin coat. You couldn't keep a 9-year-old in an apartment where she could see her breath. Miss Jasmine. Zara burst through the center's doors, backpack bouncing, twists flying. We made snowflakes today. Can we put them up? Baby, I'm working. Please. Mr. Jerome said I could help decorate. Jerome Harris emerged behind her, 68 years old, retired postal worker, center volunteer, and the closest thing to a grandfather Zara had. Won't take but a minute. Child's got artistic vision. Jasmine felt her throat tighten. Yeah, okay. But stay where I can see you. She turned back to the donation table, counting canned goods. 14 cans of green beans. Great. Nothing said, Merry Christmas, like green beans nobody wanted in July either. The door chimed again. Cold air rushed in. She didn't look up. We're closed for setup. Toy drive starts Thursday. I'd like to volunteer. The voice stopped her. Deep. Careful. Like someone choosing each word. She turned. The man in the doorway wore a charcoal wool coat that probably cost more than her car. Dark hair, light brown eyes, maybe mid-30s. Handsome in that polished way that made her immediately suspicious. His shoes were leather, unscuffed. His watch caught the fluorescent light. We're not really, she started. I can do whatever you need. He stepped inside, and snowflakes melted on his shoulders. Lifting boxes, sorting donations, assembling toys. I'm available daily through Christmas. Something about the way he said it. Not offering charity. Asking for work. You from around here? She asked. I was. His eyes moved past her to the Adopt-A-Family board. Stopped. A long time ago. Zara chose that moment to race past with construction paper, slipped on melted snow, and crashed into the man's legs. Jasmine's heart lurched. Zara. But he was already crouching, steadying her daughter with gentle hands. You all right? Zara stared up at him, eyes wide. You're tall. You're observant. The corner of his mouth lifted. I like your snowflakes. I made 17. Mama says that's excessive, but Miss Taylor says I have creative abundance. She said it proud, like she'd practiced. Miss Taylor's right. He looked at Jasmine, still crouched at Zara's level. Your daughter. Yeah. She moved closer, protective instinct kicking in. Baby, go help Mr. Jerome. Zara hesitated, then bounded off. The man stood. Extended his hand. Christopher Morrison. I'd really like to help if you'll let me. His palm was warm when she shook it. Firm grip. No ring. Jasmine Mitchell. I coordinate programs here. She studied him. You sure you want to volunteer? It's not glamorous work. I'm sure. We can't pay. I know. And you're available every day. She raised an eyebrow. What kind of job lets you do that? The kind I can walk away from when something more important shows up. He glanced at the donation table. Where do you want me to start? She should say no. Should tell this obviously wealthy stranger they were fine, didn't need his guilt-driven volunteerism, would manage like they always did. But the heating system made a concerning noise. The toy donations weren't enough. And Christmas was 19 days away. Fine, she said. Storage room. 50 boxes of decorations need sorting. Light strand testing. Ornament organization. You'll probably break a nail. He smiled. Actually smiled. I'll risk it. 2 hours later, Jasmine had to admit. Christopher Morrison could work. He'd organized the storage room with military efficiency. Tested every light strand. Sorted ornaments by color and fragility. Carried boxes that made Jerome's back hurt just watching. And he'd done it all quietly, competently, without asking for praise or breaks. She brought him water. Found him kneeling beside a box of children's books, running his thumb over a worn copy of The Snowy Day. We used to have this, he said softly. In the reading corner. Before they renovated. You really did come here as a kid? Every day after school. He set the book down carefully. This place saved my life. Before she could ask what he meant, Zara appeared. Mama, it's dark. Can we go? Jasmine checked her phone. 6:02 p.m. Yeah, baby. Get your coat. She started gathering paperwork, putting away supplies. Christopher helped without being asked, moving around the space like he'd done it before. They walked out together. The temperature had dropped 15 degrees. Snow fell in fat, lazy flakes that looked pretty until you remembered it meant walking to the bus stop in thin jackets. Zara shivered immediately. Jasmine pulled her close. Bus comes in 10 minutes. We're good. I can drive you. Christopher said it casual, but his eyes were on Zara's jacket, the one that didn't zip all the way anymore. We're fine. It's on my way. You don't know where we live. Then it's definitely on my way. He pulled keys from his pocket. Please. It's cold. Zara looked up hopefully. Mama. Jasmine hesitated. Every instinct screamed stranger danger. But her daughter was shivering, the bus was late more often than not, and something about this man felt safe, which was maybe the most dangerous thing of all. Okay, she said. But just this once. His car was a dark sedan, nothing flashy, but warm. Zara fell asleep before they'd gone 3 blocks, head against Jasmine's shoulder. She's beautiful, Christopher said quietly. Looks like you. She's my heart. Jasmine stroked Zara's hair. Her daddy's not in the picture. So it's just us. That's enough. More than enough. Something in his tone made her look at him. You got kids? No. He turned on her street without being told. But I know what it's like to have someone who shows up. Who doesn't leave. She directed him to her building. Faded brick, sagging porch, but home. This is us. He parked. Looked at the building for a long moment. I'll see you tomorrow? You're really coming back? Every day until Christmas. His eyes met hers. If you'll have me. She should say no. Should protect herself and Zara from whatever this was. Okay, she heard herself say. Tomorrow. She was unbuckling Zara when she felt it. The paper in her coat pocket, wrong texture. She pulled it out. Her Christmas list. The one that had been on the adopt-a-family board. Her heart stopped. Where did you? But when she looked up, he was already pulling away from the curb. His taillights disappeared around the corner, and she was standing in the snow with her sleeping daughter and a piece of paper that had somehow migrated from a wall she hadn't been near. She looked down at the list. At her own handwriting. $4 budget. Choose one, warm coat for Zara or winter boots for Mama or electric bill. Someone had circled every single item. In the margin, in handwriting she didn't recognize. What if you didn't have to choose? Quick pause. If you're feeling this story, hype it so others can find it. Comment where you're watching from. Now, back to the story. Christopher Morrison showed up at 9 a.m. the next morning carrying 2 coffees and a bag from the bakery 3 blocks over. Jasmine stared at him through the community center's glass door. He was wearing jeans today, a gray Henley, work boots that had actually seen work. The expensive coat was gone. He looked normal, which made him more dangerous somehow. She unlocked the door. You're early. I brought breakfast. He held up the bag. Peach cobbler muffins. Jerome mentioned yesterday they're your favorite. When did you talk to Jerome? I called him this morning. Got his number from the volunteer roster. He handed her a coffee. 2 sugars, no cream. He told me that too. She took the cup, suspicious. You're either very thorough or very creepy. Thoroughly committed to not being creepy? He smiled. Where do you want me today? Over the next week, Christopher Morrison became part of the center's rhythm. He fixed the heating system on day 3. Turned out he knew his way around a furnace. Repaired the leaking bathroom sink on day 4. On day 5, he organized a donation drive through some mysterious network that resulted in 17 boxes of winter coats appearing on the doorstep. He played chess with the after-school kids. Let them win exactly half the time. Enough to build confidence, not enough to be obvious. He helped Ms. Patricia sort canned goods, listening to her stories about the neighborhood before the highway cut through. He painted the community room with Marcus, the teen everyone else had given up on, treating him like a colleague instead of a problem. And he watched Jasmine. Not creepy watching. Protective watching. Like he was cataloging every time she rubbed her temples from stress, every moment she skipped lunch to make phone calls begging for donations, every night she counted change at her desk when she thought no one was looking. You don't have to keep coming, she told him on day 6, after he'd spent 4 hours assembling donated bikes in the storage room. You've done more than enough. I'm not finished yet. He tightened a bolt, tested the handlebars. Besides, where else would I be? I don't know. Your actual job. Your actual life. He looked at her then, grease on his hands, something raw in his expression. This is my actual life. Right now. Right here. She didn't know what to do with that. On day 8, Zara's school called. She'd fainted during recess. Jasmine's hands shook so hard she could barely hold her phone. I'm on my way. I'll drive you. Christopher was already grabbing his keys. Come on. She didn't argue. They made it to the school in 12 minutes. Zara was in the nurse's office, pale but conscious, drinking juice. Relief hit Jasmine so hard her knees nearly buckled. Baby, what happened? I got dizzy. Zara's voice was small. "I'm sorry, Mama. When's the last time she ate?" the nurse asked gently. Jasmine's stomach dropped. Breakfast had been cereal with water because the milk was gone. Lunch was free at school, but Zara had been giving half to her friend Destiny, whose family was having a harder time. "She ate this morning," Jasmine said, voice steady despite the shame burning through her. The nurse nodded, kind enough not to push. "Keep her hydrated. Make sure she has protein with every meal. If it happens again, she needs to see a doctor." In the car, Zara fell asleep immediately. Christopher drove in silence for 3 blocks. Then, "There's a grocery store up here." "We're fine." "Jasmine." "I said we're fine." Her voice cracked. "I can feed my daughter." He pulled into the parking lot anyway. Turned off the engine. "I know you can. I also know you've been eating peanut butter sandwiches for dinner so she can have the real food. Jerome told me. Jerome talks too much. He loves you." Christopher shifted to face her. "Let me help." "You've helped enough. You've helped so much I'm starting to wonder why." She met his eyes. Nobody volunteers every single day unless they're running from something or looking for something. "Which is it?" His jaw tightened. For a moment, she thought he wouldn't answer. Then, "I grew up in foster care. 7 houses in 10 years. The center was the only constant. Jerome, Mr. Jerome, we called him, used to make sure I ate. Made sure I did homework. Made sure I knew someone gave a damn." He looked out the window. "When I was 14, my foster father broke my ribs. I showed up at the center, and Jerome didn't ask questions. Just let me stay until the bruises faded and he could call the right people." Jasmine's breath caught. "I aged out of the system at 18. Joined the army. Used the GI Bill for college. Built a business. Got lucky more times than I deserved." He looked back at her. "But I never forgot what it felt like to be hungry. To count change. To choose between heat and food." "Christopher. I came back because Jerome called me 6 months ago. Told me the center was struggling. Told me the neighborhood was changing, people were hurting, and he was getting too old to fix it alone." His voice dropped. "I came back to help. Then I saw you and I saw Zara, and I saw me 20 years ago. So yeah, I'm looking for something. Redemption, maybe. Or proof that the world can be less cruel than I remember." Silence filled the car. Zara's breathing, soft and even. Snow starting to fall again. "What business?" Jasmine asked quietly. "Hotels. Morrison Hospitality Group. 17 properties across the South." She blinked. "You own Morrison Hotels?" "I do. Those are luxury hotels." "They are." She laughed, slightly hysterical. "So you're not just successful. You're billionaire successful." "Does it matter?" "I don't know." She looked at him, really looked. Saw past the careful humility, the work clothes, the volunteer hours. Saw money. Power. The kind of success that made her $4 budget even more absurd. "What do you want from me?" "Nothing you're not willing to give." His eyes held hers. "I just want to help. No strings. No expectations. Just help. Nobody helps without expectations." "I do." He reached into the back seat, pulled out a reusable shopping bag she hadn't noticed. "I bought groceries this morning. There's a cooler in the trunk with perishables. You can accept them or you can tell me to take them to Jerome's, and he'll distribute them to families who need them. Your choice." Her throat burned. "Why are you doing this?" "Because 20 years ago someone chose to see me. To help me. To believe I deserved more than the hand I'd been dealt." He set the bag on her lap gently. "I'm just paying it forward." She took the groceries. That night, she made spaghetti with Real meat sauce. Zara ate 2 helpings, then fell asleep on the couch with a full belly and color back in her cheeks. Jasmine sat beside her daughter in their warm apartment. The heat had been working perfectly since Christopher adjusted something, and let herself cry. Quiet tears that tasted like relief and fear and something she didn't have a name for. Her phone buzzed. Text from an unknown number. Asterisk Jerome gave me your number. Hope that's okay. Just wanted to make sure Zara's all right. Christopher asterisk. She stared at the message. Typed and deleted 3 responses. Finally settled on. Asterisk she's good. Thank you for today. Asterisk. 3 dots appeared immediately. Asterisk anytime. See you tomorrow. Asterisk. She looked at her sleeping daughter. At the full refrigerator. At the Christmas list still folded in her wallet, every item circled. Then she did something terrifying. She let herself hope. The next morning, she arrived at the center to find Christopher already there, painting the community room with Marcus. Kirk Franklin played from someone's phone, Imagine Me. And Marcus was actually smiling. Morning, Christopher called. We're doing an accent wall. Marcus chose the color. Deep blue, Marcus said proudly. Like the ocean. It's perfect. Jasmine set down her bag, watched them work together, easy conversation flowing. You paint hotels like this? Sometimes. Christopher rolled paint with practiced strokes. My first job was construction. Still like getting my hands dirty. She left them to it, moved into her office, started making calls about the Christmas dinner they were planning. 43 families confirmed. Not enough turkeys. Not enough volunteers for cooking. She was drowning in logistics when Christopher appeared in the doorway. What if we hosted the dinner at the Morrison downtown, he said. Full kitchen. Professional staff. Dining room seats 200. We could handle everything. She looked up slowly. You want to host a community Christmas dinner at a luxury hotel. I want to make sure 43 families have the Christmas they deserve. He leaned against the doorframe. What do you say? What could she say? That pride was expensive when you were this broke? That accepting help felt like admitting defeat? That every kind thing he did made her trust him a little more, which scared her to death. Okay, she whispered. Thank you. His smile could have lit the whole room. There's one condition, he added. Her heart sank. Here it comes. You and Zara come to dinner too. His voice was soft. Not as staff. As guests. Deal. That wasn't what she expected. Deal. The hotel was even more beautiful than Jasmine had imagined. Christopher gave her a tour on day 12, after the center closed. Marble floors. Crystal chandeliers. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking downtown Atlanta. Everything gleamed. This is where you want to host our dinner? She turned in a slow circle in the grand ballroom. Christopher, this is too much. It's exactly right. He walked to the windows. My first night in the city, I slept under the highway overpass 6 blocks from here. I was 17. It was February. I thought I'd freeze to death. She moved beside him. Their reflections caught in the glass. Her in thrift store jeans and a sweater. Him in dark slacks and a button-down he'd worn for meetings earlier. Jerome found me the next morning, he continued. Took me to the center. Got me into emergency housing. Helped me finish high school. He looked at her. This hotel. I built it here specifically. So every day I'd remember where I came from. And now you want to fill it with people still living what you survived. I want to prove that the world can be generous. That people don't have to freeze. That Christmas can mean something besides what you can't afford. His voice dropped. I want Zara to eat turkey in a beautiful room and feel like she deserves it. Because she does. Jasmine's chest ached. You really mean that? Every word. She stepped closer without meaning to. Could smell his cologne. Something clean and expensive. Could see the gold flecks in his light brown eyes. Could feel the heat radiating off him in the cool ballroom. Who are you really? She whispered. Someone who wants to know you better. He reached up slowly, giving her time to move away. Tucked a loose braid behind her ear. If you'll let me. Her phone rang. Zara's ringtone. She stepped back, heart pounding. Answered. Hey, baby. Mama, when are you coming home? I'm hungry. Reality crashed back. 20 minutes. There's leftover spaghetti in the fridge. But I wanted mac and cheese. Baby, we don't have. She caught herself. Christopher was watching. I'll make it when I get home. Okay. She hung up. Felt exposed. I should go, she said. Let me drive you. I can take the bus. Jasmine. He said her name like a prayer. Please. Let me drive you. They picked up groceries on the way. He insisted, and she was too tired to fight. In the store, Zara rode in the cart, pointing at everything she wanted for Christmas dinner. Can we get cranberry sauce? The kind in the can that jiggles. Sure, baby. And those rolls that come in the tube. Pop-up rolls. Okay. And eggnog. I've never had eggnog. Jasmine was adding it up in her head, watching the total climb, when Christopher put a gallon of eggnog in the cart. Then another. Christopher. One for now, one for Christmas. He grinned at Zara. You can't have Christmas without eggnog. Are you coming to our Christmas? Zara asked suddenly. Jasmine froze. Baby, Mr. Christopher probably has his own. I'd love to, he said. If your mom says it's okay. Two pairs of eyes looked at her hopefully. We'll see, she managed. At checkout, Christopher handed the cashier his card before Jasmine could protest. The total was $147.83. More than she made in a day after taxes. You can't keep doing this, she said in the parking lot while loading bags. Doing what? Paying for everything. Fixing everything. Being everywhere. He closed the trunk. Does it bother you? Yes. No. I don't know. She pressed her hands to her face. I don't know how to accept this much help without feeling like I owe you something. You don't owe me anything. Everyone wants something eventually. Not everyone. He stepped closer. What if I just want to see you smile without worrying? What if that's enough? Nobody's that good. Maybe I'm trying to be. His hand found hers. Warm. Solid. Real. Maybe you make me want to try. Zara banged on the car window. Are we going, or are you gonna stand in the snow all night? They broke apart, laughing despite the tension. That night, after Zara went to bed, Jasmine did something she'd been avoiding. She Googled Christopher Morrison. The results flooded her screen. Morrison Hospitality Group expands to Charleston. Christopher Morrison donates $2 million to foster care reform. From foster kid to Fortune 500. The Christopher Morrison story. She clicked an article from 3 years ago. Read about his childhood, 7 foster homes, abuse, aging out of the system with nothing. About his Army service. His first hotel, bought with a VA loan and credit card debt. His empire built on remembering what it felt like to have nothing. There were photos. Him at charity galas in tuxedos. Him breaking ground on new hotels. Him shaking hands with the mayor, the governor, people who mattered. And somehow he was spending his days at her community center, painting walls and playing chess with kids. Her phone buzzed. Text from her sister, Kennedy. Girl, please tell me you're not falling for volunteer guy. Jasmine frowned. How do you know about that? Asterisk Zara told me. Says he's nice and tall and brings muffins. She also says you smile different when he's around. Asterisk. I do not. Asterisk Jazz. Be careful. Rich men don't volunteer at community centers unless they want something. Asterisk. He's not like that. Asterisk they're all like that, sis. Guard your heart. Asterisk. Jasmine set down her phone. Looked at the Christmas list still on her fridge. Every item circled in Christopher's handwriting. What if Kennedy was right? What if this was some rich guy fantasy, and she was the charity case helping him feel good about himself? What if he got bored and disappeared, leaving Zara heartbroken? What if she was already in too deep to protect either of them? The next morning, she arrived at the center early. Found Christopher already there, stringing lights on the Christmas tree they'd gotten donated. We need to talk, she said. He looked up, saw her expression, set down the lights. Okay. I looked you up last night. I figured you would eventually. You donated $2 million to foster care reform last year. I did. You're on the board of 3 charities. You've opened 5 hotels specifically in underserved communities to provide jobs. Someone has to. Stop. She held up a hand. Stop being humble. Stop pretending this is casual. I need to know what's really happening here. He was quiet for a long moment. Then, you want the truth? Please. I came back to Atlanta to help the center. That part's true. But then I saw you, this woman holding everything together with duct tape and determination, raising a daughter alone, giving everything she has to a community that can barely give back, and I couldn't look away. He stepped closer. You remind me that money doesn't make you rich. That showing up every day matters. That love is the real currency. Christopher. I'm falling for you, Jasmine. Have been since you told me we'd manage, when I knew you were drowning. Since I watched you give Zara your lunch. Since I saw you cry in the storage room and pull yourself together in 30 seconds because someone needed you. His voice was raw. So yeah, I keep showing up. Because you're worth showing up for. Her heart hammered against her ribs. I can't afford you. I'm not asking you to afford me. I'm asking you to trust me. I have a daughter. I can't take risks. I'm not a risk. I'm a sure thing. He reached for her hand. I'm not going anywhere. The door burst open. Marcus ran in, face pale. Miss Jasmine. Someone broke into the storage room last night. They took everything. The storage room was destroyed. All the donated toys gone. The winter coats Christopher had arranged. Gone. The bikes he'd assembled. Gone. Even the decorations were trashed, lights smashed, ornaments shattered. Jasmine stood in the middle of the wreckage and felt something inside her crack. I'll call the police, Jerome said quietly. What's the point? She laughed. Hollow. They're not coming back. They never do. Christopher was on his phone, voice clipped and professional. I need a full replacement order. Everything on that list. Yes, today. I don't care what it costs. Don't. Jasmine's voice cut through the room. Don't throw money at this like it fixes everything. He lowered the phone. Jasmine. You can't save us. You can't save the center. You can't save Christmas. Tears burned her eyes. You're one person with a checkbook, and the world is too broken. So I just give up? You accept reality. She grabbed her coat. The reality that good intentions don't change anything. That people take and take, and there's never enough to go around. That Christmas is just another day when you're this tired. You don't mean that. Don't tell me what I mean. She headed for the door. I need air. She walked. Didn't know where. Just walked through her neighborhood. Past houses with lights up, families visible through windows, normal lives she'd never have. Past the elementary school where Zara laughed with friends who had more. Past the grocery store where she counted pennies. Her phone buzzed repeatedly. Christopher calling. She ignored it. By the time she made it back, 2 hours had passed. The center parking lot was full of trucks. She walked inside to find controlled chaos. New toys everywhere. Volunteers unloading boxes. Winter coats being sorted by size. Christopher directing traffic with the efficiency of someone who'd mobilized armies. He saw her. Stopped. Crossed the room. You can't fix everything with money, she said. You're right. He gestured around them. But I can fix this. I can make sure those 43 families still have Christmas. I can prove that when someone breaks something, we build it back better. His eyes held hers. And I can be here when you're ready to believe you deserve good things too. The Christmas dinner planning consumed the next 3 days. Jasmine threw herself into logistics. Seating charts, dietary restrictions, transportation for families without cars. If she stayed busy enough, she didn't have to think about Christopher's confession. Didn't have to examine the way her heart jumped every time he walked into a room. He gave her space. Still showed up every day, but quieter now. Respecting the boundary she'd drawn without asking her to explain it. On day 15, Ms. Patricia pulled her aside in the kitchen. The 72-year-old woman had been volunteering at the center for 30 years and didn't miss much. "You're running from that man," Patricia said, slicing sweet potatoes with practiced efficiency. "I'm not running. I'm being realistic." Hum. Same way I was realistic when I told my Harold I was too busy for love. Patricia shook her head. "Been a widow 20 years now. Regret every day I wasted being scared." "It's not the same. Chili, it's always the same. Fear is fear, whether you're rich or poor." She pointed her knife at Jasmine. "That man looks at you like you hung the moon. What you scared of? That he'll leave. Or that he'll stay." Jasmine didn't have an answer. That afternoon, Zara's teacher called again. "Mrs. Mitchell, I wanted to give you a heads up. Zara wrote her Christmas wish list in class today." The teacher's voice was gentle. I think you should see it." Jasmine's stomach dropped. "What did she write? Maybe come by after school? We can talk in person." The 3-hour wait nearly killed her. Christopher found her pacing in her office. "What's wrong?" She told him. Watched concern flood his face. "I'll drive you," he said immediately. "You don't have to." "Jasmine, I'm driving you." Zara's teacher, Ms. Martinez, was waiting in the classroom. She handed Jasmine a piece of construction paper covered in Zara's careful handwriting. "My Christmas Wishes by Zara Mitchell. 1. New coat for Mama, she says hers is fine but I see her shiver. 2. Money for the electric so it's not cold. 3. Doctor appointment for Mama, she holds her stomach sometimes when she thinks I'm not looking. 4. Mr. Christopher to stay forever because Mama smiles real smiles now. 5. A dad who doesn't leave." Jasmine's vision blurred. She couldn't breathe. "She's worried about you," Ms. Martinez said softly. "Has been for a while. The school counselor says she's taking on adult stress." "I'm handling it." Jasmine's voice cracked. "I'm handling everything." "I know you are. But Zara sees more than you think." The teacher glanced at Christopher, who stood near the door. "She talks about him a lot. Says he's teaching her chess. That he listens when she talks about her day." Christopher's jaw tightened. "I just wanted you to know," Ms. Martinez continued. "Kids don't ask for dads in their Christmas lists unless there's a hole they're trying to fill." In the parking lot, Jasmine sat in Christopher's car and let herself fall apart. Great, heaving sobs that shook her whole body. Years of holding it together, of being strong, of pretending $4 was enough. All of it broke loose. Christopher didn't speak. Just held her while she cried, his hands steady on her back, his breathing keeping time with hers until she could catch her breath. "I can't give her what she needs," Jasmine finally whispered. "I work 2 jobs and it's still not enough. I budget everything and we're still broke. I do everything right and she's still asking Santa for a dad because her mama can't be both." "You're enough," Christopher said firmly. "You're more than enough. You're everything. I'm tired. I'm so tired I can't see straight. And now she's worried about me, carrying stress no 9-year-old should carry, and I can't fix it." She pulled back, looked at him. "And you come in here like some kind of miracle, and I don't know if you're real or if I'm so desperate I'm imagining someone could actually want this life." "I'm real." He cupped her face with both hands. "And I don't just want this life. I want you in mine. Both of you." "For how long? Until the charity work gets old? Until you remember you're a billionaire who could have anyone? Until you believe me when I say forever." She wanted to believe him. God, she wanted to. "Show me," she whispered. "Show you what?" "Your life. Your real life. Not the volunteer version. I want to see who you are when you're not at the center." He studied her face. "Okay. Tomorrow night. Dinner at my place. Bring Zara." "Christopher, you want the truth? I'll give you all of it." His place was a penthouse in Buckhead with floor-to-ceiling windows and a view that made Zara gasp. You live in the sky, she breathed, pressing her face to the glass. Jasmine stood frozen in the entryway. The apartment was beautiful. Modern furniture, original art, a kitchen bigger than her whole apartment. But it wasn't cold. Books everywhere. Photos on the walls. A worn blanket on the couch. Signs of actual living. Welcome, Christopher said. I know it's a lot. It's a lot, she agreed. He showed them around. Zara claimed immediate ownership of the balcony, marveling at the city lights. Christopher made dinner, spaghetti, because Zara had mentioned it was her favorite. They ate at his table, fancy plates with cartoon character napkins he'd bought special. After dinner, Zara fell asleep on his couch mid-movie, exhausted from excitement. Christopher carried her to his bedroom, laid her on his bed, covered her with the blanket from the couch. The gentleness in his movements made Jasmine's throat tight. They stood in his living room, city glittering below them, while her daughter slept in his bed. I bought this place 5 years ago, Christopher said quietly. Right after the business took off. I wanted proof I'd made it. That I wasn't that kid under the bridge anymore. He looked around. But it's been empty. Just me and too much space and nobody to share it with. Must be lonely. It was. Until you. He crossed to a bookshelf, pulled down a worn photo album, opened it to a picture of a teenage boy, skinny, defiant, scared, standing outside Sweet Auburn Community Center. That's me. 17. The day Jerome found me. He turned pages. More photos. Him in army uniform. First day of college. Standing in front of a rundown building with a sold sign. Every step forward I took a picture. Proof I was moving. Proof it was real. The last page was blank except for a note in his handwriting. Someone to share it with. I stopped taking pictures 2 years ago, he said. Because I realized success without connection is just expensive loneliness. He closed the album. Then I met you and I remembered what I was working toward. Not things. People. Family. Home. Jasmine's heart was breaking and rebuilding simultaneously. I'm scared. I know. I'm scared you'll realize we're too much work. That Zara deserves better than a stepdad who's doing charity. That you'll wake up one day and remember you could have someone easier. Jasmine. He turned her to face him. I don't want easy. I want real. I want pancakes on Saturday mornings and homework help and someone to call when something funny happens. I want to teach Zara chess and argue with you about volunteer schedules and come home to people who care that I'm there. We come with baggage. I've got a whole storage unit full of my own. He smiled sadly. We can unpack it together. She looked at him, really looked. Saw past the money to the man. The one who'd been broken and built himself back. The one who showed up every day not because he had to, but because he wanted to. The one who looked at her daughter like she was precious. Zara asked Santa for you to stay forever, she whispered. What did her mama ask for? To believe in something this good. Then believe. He stepped closer. I'm not going anywhere. Not tomorrow. Not next month. Not when things get hard. I'm here, Jasmine. For both of you. For as long as you'll have me. She kissed him. Pressed up on her toes and kissed him like she was claiming him. Like she was choosing hope over fear. Like she was finally letting herself want something she didn't have to earn. He kissed her back. Gentle at first, then deeper. His hands in her hair. Her fingers curled in his shirt. Years of loneliness dissolving between them. When they broke apart, both breathing hard, he rested his forehead against hers. I'm all in, he said. Tell me you are too. I'm terrified. That's not a no. She laughed, shaky. I'm all in. God help us both. They woke Zara at midnight to drive her home. She was groggy, confused, happy. Can we come back? She asked, half asleep against Jasmine's shoulder. Yeah, baby, Jasmine said, meeting Christopher's eyes in the rearview mirror. We can come back. At her apartment, he walked them to the door. Kissed Jasmine good night. Soft and promising. Hugged Zara. waited until they were inside before leaving. Jasmine watched his taillights disappear and let herself believe, just a little, that good things could stay. The next morning, everything shattered. She arrived at the center to find news trucks parked outside. Reporters shouting questions. Jerome standing on the steps, face gray. "What's happening?" she asked. Jerome handed her his phone. A news article loaded. Billionaire's secret charity project. Morrison hotels accused of tax fraud through community center donations. Her blood turned to ice. Jasmine's hands shook so hard she nearly dropped Jerome's phone. The article laid it all out. Allegations that Christopher had been using the community center as a tax write-off scheme. That the donations were inflated on paper. That volunteers were actually paid staff disguised to look like grassroots charity. That the Christmas dinner at his hotel was a publicity stunt timed perfectly for year-end tax benefits. Anonymous sources. Financial documents. Everything designed to paint him as a fraud. "This isn't true," she said. "Jerome, you know him." "This isn't." "I know what I know." Jerome's voice was heavy. "But that doesn't matter to them." He nodded at the reporters. "They're saying he used us." "Used you?" Her phone rang. "Christopher." She didn't answer. It rang again. Again. Text messages flooded in. "Please call me. It's not what it looks like. Let me explain. Jasmine, please." She turned off her phone. By noon, the center was under siege. Reporters camped outside. Parents pulling kids from after-school programs. Board members calling emergency meetings. The Christmas dinner was in 3 days. And suddenly nobody wanted charity from a man accused of fraud. Jasmine spent hours on the phone with families, reassuring them, promising the dinner would still happen. But even she heard the doubt in her own voice. Kennedy showed up at 2 p.m., took one look at her sister's face, and pulled her into the storage room. "I told you," Kennedy said. "I told you rich men don't do this without an angle. You don't know him. Neither do you. You've known him 2 weeks, Jazz. 2 weeks, and you let him into your life, into Zara's life. He's not using us." "How do you know?" "Because he said so. Because he bought groceries and fixed the heat." Kennedy gripped her shoulders. "Wake up. Men like that don't fall for women like us unless we're useful. And now his usefulness just ran out." Jasmine pulled away. "You're wrong." "Am I? Then where is he? If this is all a misunderstanding, why isn't he here?" She didn't have an answer for that. Christopher showed up at 6 p.m., after the reporters had finally dispersed for dinner. Jasmine was alone in her office, staring at the adopt-a-family board. Someone had torn down half the lists, including hers. "Jasmine." His voice from the doorway. She didn't turn around. "You need to leave." "Not until you hear me out. I've heard enough. Read it all in the news. That article is full of lies." He stepped into the room. "Someone's trying to sabotage me. I have lawyers working on it, but I need you to know, everything I've done here was real. The donations were legitimate. The volunteering was because I wanted to be here. None of it was for tax benefits or publicity." "Then why does it look so bad?" "Because I made enemies building my company. People who want to see me fail. And they're using the center, using you to get to me." His voice cracked. "I never meant for this to touch you." She finally turned. He looked destroyed, tie loose, hair disheveled, eyes red-rimmed. But she couldn't let that sway her. Not when Zara was involved. "You should have told me who you really were from the beginning," she said. "You should have been honest." "I was honest. About everything that mattered." "No. You let me believe you were just some guy who wanted to volunteer. You let me think." She couldn't finish. Couldn't admit how much she'd let herself imagine. "I let you get to know me without the money getting in the way," he said. "Because every time I meet someone and they find out what I'm worth, they stop seeing me. They see the bank account, the connections, what I can do for them." He moved closer. "You saw me. Just me. And it felt like coming home. Well, congratulations. Now everyone sees the money. And it's destroying everything you touched. Then let me fix it. How? The damage is done. Parents don't trust us anymore. The dinner's falling apart. In 3 days, 43 families were supposed to have Christmas, and now they're going to have nothing because I was stupid enough to trust you. You weren't stupid. Yes, I was. The words exploded out of her. I was stupid and desperate and so tired of doing it alone that I let myself believe someone like you could want someone like me. That fairy tales happened to broke single moms from the 4th Ward. That I deserved something good for once in my miserable life. Silence filled the room. Heavy and sharp. Your life isn't miserable, Christopher said quietly. It's beautiful. You're beautiful. The way you love Zara, the way you fight for this community, the way you keep showing up even when everything's falling apart, that's not misery. That's strength I'll never have. I don't want your admiration. I want you to leave. Jasmine. Please. Her voice broke. I need you to go. I need to think. I need to figure out how to save Christmas for these families without you. He stood there for a long moment. She watched him war with himself, wanting to stay, knowing he should leave. Finally, he pulled something from his pocket. Set it on her desk. A check. Made out to Sweet Auburn Community Center. For $500,000. That's not a tax write-off, he said. That's me making sure this place survives regardless of what happens to me. Use it however you want. Put it in the bank. Rip it up. Light it on fire. Your choice. He walked to the door. Stopped. I love you, he said without turning around. I love you and Zara and the life we were starting to build. And I'm sorry my past followed me here and hurt you. But I'm not sorry for falling for you. That's the best thing I've ever done. Then he was gone. Jasmine stared at the check. $500,000. Enough to save the center for years. Enough to prove he'd meant every word. Or enough to buy his way out of guilt. She didn't know which anymore. She went home to find Zara crying on the couch. Baby, what's wrong? Madison said Mr. Christopher is a bad man. That he's mean and fake and you were dumb for liking him. Zara's face was blotchy, furious. Is it true? Is he bad? Jasmine sat beside her daughter. Pulled her close. Didn't know what to say. He lied to us, Zara continued. Madison showed me her mom's phone. All the news about him. He's rich, Mama. Super rich. And he didn't tell us. He was trying to help. By lying. Zara pulled back. You always say lying is wrong. Even when it's hard, we tell the truth. That's the rule. Sometimes adults. Jasmine stopped. Couldn't finish. Because Zara was right. I thought he liked us for real, Zara whispered. I thought maybe he could be. She didn't finish. Didn't have to. Jasmine's heart shattered. Baby, I'm so sorry. Is the Christmas dinner still happening? I don't know. What about the families? What about all those kids who don't have anything? I'm trying to figure it out. Zara was quiet for a long moment. Then, maybe we should ask Mr. Christopher to help. He's good at fixing things. Zara. I know he lied. But he also taught me chess and carried me when I was tired and made you smile. Her daughter's eyes were too old, too wise. And sometimes people mess up but they're still good. Right. Jasmine couldn't answer. Could only hold her daughter and wonder when 9-year-olds got so much better at forgiveness than their mothers. That night, alone in her bedroom, Jasmine finally turned her phone back on. 47 missed calls. 63 text messages. Most from Christopher. But also from volunteers, board members, families asking if Christmas was canceled. She opened Christopher's messages. Read them in order. I'm sorry. Please let me explain everything. Asterisk, the allegations are false. My lawyers are handling it. Asterisk. I never meant to hurt you. I miss you. I miss Zara. I understand if you can't forgive me. Asterisk, but please don't let this destroy the center. Don't let my mistakes hurt those families. Asterisk. Asterisk, use the check. Save Christmas. I don't need credit. I just need to know they're okay. Asterisk. That you're okay. The last message had come through an hour ago. Asterisk, I love you. That's the only truth that matters. Asterisk. She stared at her phone, at the check still in her purse, at her daughter asleep in the next room, asking Santa for a dad who stays. Then she did something she hadn't done since she was a little girl sitting in her grandmother's church. She prayed. Not fancy words. Just, asterisk, please. Show me what's right. Show me what's true. I can't do this alone anymore. Asterisk. Her phone buzzed. Text from Jerome. Asterisk, come to the center tomorrow morning. Early. Trust me. Asterisk. She wanted to trust someone. Needed to believe good things could still happen. Okay, she typed back. I'll be there. Jasmine arrived at the center at 6 a.m. to find every light on and the parking lot full. Not reporters this time. Volunteers. Dozens of them, unloading trucks, carrying boxes, moving with purpose. She recognized faces from the neighborhood. Ms. Patricia, Marcus, parents from Zara school, people she'd helped over the years. Jerome stood on the steps, clipboard in hand, directing traffic. What's happening? She asked. Christmas, he said simply. Come on. Inside was controlled chaos. The community room had been transformed overnight. Tables set up, decorations hung, the kitchen full of people prepping food. And in the center of it all, wearing jeans and an old center t-shirt, was Christopher. He looked up. Their eyes met across the room. Her breath caught. Before you say anything, Jerome said quietly beside her, you should know something. That article. The allegations. All false. Released by a competitor trying to block Christopher's bid on a property development. His lawyers proved it yesterday. Full retractions being published this morning. What? He's not a fraud. Never was. Every donation was legitimate. Every hour he spent here was real. Jerome squeezed her shoulder. And when the story broke and everyone turned on him, he didn't defend himself. He just asked me how to save Christmas for these families without making it about him. Jasmine's eyes burned. Jerome. This wasn't his idea. It was mine. I called every person he's ever helped through the center. And baby, that's a long list. I told them what happened, told them what was at stake, and asked if they'd show up. He gestured around them. This is what love looks like. This is community. Christopher had moved closer, stopping a few feet away. Uncertainty written all over his face. I didn't know they were doing this, he said. Jerome called me at midnight, told me to get here at 5. I thought. He trailed off. I thought you'd be angry. I was angry. She stepped toward him. I was terrified. I was convinced I'd been stupid for believing in something good. You weren't stupid. No. I was scared. She moved closer. My whole life I've had to fight for everything. Had to assume the worst because hoping for better always ended in disappointment. So when things got hard, I defaulted to believing you'd leave. That I wasn't worth staying for. Jasmine. Let me finish. She took a shaky breath. My daughter asked me last night if people could mess up and still be good. And I realized I've been so busy protecting us from being hurt that I forgot how to let us be loved. His eyes were bright. You are so loved. Both of you. From the moment I saw you trying to make $4 stretch into Christmas, I knew you were everything I'd been looking for. I'm still broke. Still struggling. Still a package deal with a 9-year-old who wants a dad. I know. My apartment has terrible heat. My car makes concerning noises. I eat peanut butter sandwiches for dinner. I know all of it. I love all of it. I love you. She closed the distance between them. Touched his face. Say it again. I love you. He covered her hand with his. I love your strength and your stubbornness and the way you count change like it's prayer. I love how you give everything to everyone and still somehow have more to give. I love watching you be Zara's mom. I love who I am when I'm with you. I love you too. The words felt like freedom. I love that you show up. That you fixed our heat and taught chess and carried groceries and never once made me feel small for needing help. I love that you see me, not just the struggle but me. He kissed her, soft and sure and full of promise. Around them, volunteers hooped and applauded. They broke apart laughing. So, Christopher said, does this mean I'm invited to Christmas? You're invited to every Christmas. If you want to be. I want everything. Every Christmas, every Tuesday, every ordinary moment. All of it. That's a lot of ordinary. That's exactly what I want. The Christmas dinner happened exactly as planned. The Morrison Hotel's ballroom filled with families, volunteers, and enough food to feed twice as many people. Turkey, ham, collard greens, mac and cheese, sweet potato pie, cornbread, every soul food staple made with love and abundance. Zara wore a new red dress, a gift from Christopher's sister who'd driven up from Savannah to meet the girl who stole my brother's heart. She ran between tables, making friends, her laughter echoing off the crystal chandeliers. Jasmine stood near the kitchen, watching it all, when Christopher found her. You good? He asked. I'm trying to memorize this. Every face. Every smile. Proof that good things can happen. They can. They do. They will. He wrapped his arms around her from behind. Especially now. She turned in his embrace. What's that supposed to mean? Nothing. Just, there might be something for you under the tree. Christopher, we talked about this. No expensive gifts. It's not expensive. It's perfect. He kissed her forehead. Trust me. After dinner, they distributed gifts from the donation drive. Every child got toys. Every family got winter coats, groceries, and gift cards to help with bills. When they reached list number 27, Jasmine's list, Christopher handed Zara a large box. This one's for you and your mom, he said. Zara ripped into it eagerly. Inside were 2 envelopes. The first contained a receipt. Paid in full. 12 months electricity, Sweet Auburn Apartments, Unit 4B. Jasmine's hand covered her mouth. The second envelope was heavier. Zara opened it to find 2 sets of keys. What are these? Zara asked. Keys to a house, Christopher said quietly, looking at Jasmine. 3 bedrooms, big backyard, 10 minutes from here. The mortgage is paid off. It's yours. Both of yours. No strings, no expectations. Just a home that's actually warm. Christopher. Jasmine couldn't breathe. You said you'd manage. You've been managing your whole life. I just want you to have a place where you can rest. Where Zara can have friends over without worrying. Where you can exhale. His voice dropped. Where we can build something if you'll let me. That's too much. It's not nearly enough. He took her hand. But it's a start. Say yes. She looked at Zara, whose eyes were wide with hope. At Jerome, who nodded encouragingly. At the families around them, living proof that generosity existed. At Christopher, who'd been broken and rebuilt himself into someone who gave instead of took. Yes, she whispered. Yes to the house. Yes to building something. Yes to all of it. Zara shrieked and launched herself at Christopher, who caught her easily, laughing. Around them, applause erupted again. They drove to the house that night. All 3 of them. It was a small craftsman bungalow in Sweet Auburn, walking distance from the center. Hardwood floors. Updated kitchen. A backyard with a swing set already installed. When did you do this? Jasmine asked, walking through rooms that felt like home. I've been working on it for a week. Had it inspected, furnished, ready. I was going to give it to you at Christmas regardless of what happened between us. He leaned against the doorframe. You deserve stability. Both of you. Zara had already claimed the bedroom with purple walls. Mama, come see. There's a window seat. Jasmine found her daughter sitting in the bay window, looking out at the backyard. You like it, baby? I love it. Can Mr. Christopher come visit? He can do more than visit, Christopher said from the doorway. If it's okay with your mom, I'd like to come around a lot. Take you both to dinner. Help with homework. Fix things when they break. Be part of your family if you'll have me. Zara looked at Jasmine. Can we keep him? Jasmine laughed through tears. Yeah, baby. We can keep him. 1 year later, the Sweet Auburn Community Center hosted another Christmas dinner. Bigger this time, with twice as many families and a waiting list. Jasmine coordinated it from her new office, the director's office, since she'd been promoted 6 months ago. Her engagement ring caught the light every time she wrote notes, the simple diamond Christopher had chosen because you deserve something that sparkles. Christopher was in the community room, teaching chess to a group of kids that now included Zara, who'd beaten him twice last week. He looked up, caught her watching, smiled. She smiled back. Home had never been a place before. Now it was everywhere he was. What would you rate this story? Drop 0 to 10 in the comments right now. If this story moved you, hit subscribe for more emotional journeys every day. And if it truly touched your heart, consider leaving a super thanks. Your support helps us create more stories like this. Every contribution, big or small, means the world. Ready for the next story? It's even more dramatic than this one. Click now. Thank you for being part of this journey.